Here's more wrestling news for July 26, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include why Matt Cardona left AEW, Big E explains why he felt bad for Drew McIntyre after Money in the Bank, Vince McMahon's heartwarming reaction after seeing former WWE star for the first time in 22 years, AEW signed yet another big wrestling name, AEW star Nick Comoroto proposes to his girlfriend at an indie event, Malachi Black reveals WWE Hall of Famer has been mentoring him in AEW, Hall of Famer reveals Brock Lesnar was a big part of WWE's ring crew as a foreman, Kenny Omega provides an update on AEW's upcoming console game and its potential release date, The Simpsons want The Rock for a guest starring role, and more. We're starting with the new GCW World Champion Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, who's clearly accomplished a lot since his 2020 WWE release. Not only capturing the GCW title, Cardona has joined Impact Wrestling and had a few appearances in AEW Dynamite. At the time, fans believed Cardona would stick around, but that wasn't the case, and now we know why he didn't stay in AEW for long. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, the former Broski said how he was having a lot of talks immediately after his WWE release and that his deal with AEW worked out first. Calling the company awesome, Cardona added that he didn't want to jump into another long-term relationship after having spent a decade and a half with WWE. Ultimately, Cardona did settle down, as he said that he was contracted by Impact on the Friday before their January 2021 Hard to Kill pay-per-view and has since reinvented himself outside of WWE. Nowadays, Cardona has become a top heel in wrestling, having been pelted with beer and garbage after his GCW title win, but who knows what he would have done had he signed a long-term deal with AEW. Over to WWE next, as Big E is at an all-time high as a singles wrestler as Mr. Money in the Bank. Big E captured the briefcase at WWE's first pay-per-view with a full crowd in over a year and got an ovation from the fans at both Money in the Bank and the subsequent SmackDown. Speaking on Corey Graves' After the Bell podcast, Big E discussed his win in front of the live fans and how he feels bad for the likes of Drew McIntyre. I kinda sat back and felt bad for someone like Drew, who had his biggest moments without people and without fans. Because if we had that same match in the Thunderdome, I still would have been very grateful, I still would have had the same emotions, but the stuff that makes you stay up all night is the fans. I only slept 90 minutes because I was sitting in my hotel room buzzing for hours and hours. 2020 was the biggest year in Drew McIntyre's career, but it happened without live fans in attendance. And with Drew unable to challenge for the WWE title whilst Bobby Lashley is champion, who knows when his next big moment will be. Now, if you were watching the WWF in the early 90s, then you may remember Jameson, the bumbling sidekick to the Bushwhackers who was brought in to counter the Beverly Brothers' own manager, The Genius. John DiGiacomo was the man responsible for bringing Jameson to life, and he's even made a much more recent appearance on WWE programming. Speaking to Pro Wrestling Define's Jonathan O'Dwyer, DiGiacomo revealed that he and his son appeared at the Extreme Rules 2014 pay-per-view and even reunited with his old boss, Vince McMahon. He said, "Vince looks up at me from being down on one knee, says, 'You must be the father?' I said, 'Yeah. Vince, you recognize me?' He's like, 'Yeah, you look so familiar.' So I made the Jameson face like this, cross-eyed, and he freaked. Big hug, lifted me off the ground, oh my god, telling me, 'I've got to take you around, there's still people in TV from when you were here, they'd love to see you, oh my god.'" DiGiacomo's son appeared during the show as a demonic child who scared John Cena long enough to allow Bray Wyatt to win their steel cage match. The former Jameson said he nearly said no, as the show would go past midnight and they needed to be up early the next day, but realized he wanted to share this experience with his son. Sure enough, DiGiacomo's son appeared on TV, and it's heartwarming that Vince McMahon would remember Jameson, who was only briefly with the WWE over 20 years after he was last in the company. AEW news next, as the company has added another big name to its women's roster. On Twitter, Emi Sakura announced that she's joining AEW full-time and has even booked a one-way ticket to the United States to make it happen. Sakura signed a tentative deal with AEW back in 2019, even appearing at their first pay-per-view Double or Nothing, and later challenged Riho for the AEW Women's World title at Full Gear that November. During the situation in 2020, Sakura wasn't able to keep appearing for AEW, and as a 26-year veteran of the ring, bringing her in full-time will do a world of good for the company's women's roster. More AEW news now, as Nick Comoroto is a member of QT Marshall's Factory stable, but he's now part of a much more important team. At last weekend's MCW wrestling event, Comoroto appeared in the ring with the company's referee Becky and asked his girlfriend to marry him. Nick cut a little promo praising Becky before he popped the question, and Becky said yes in what was truly an emotional moment that will last with the happy couple for the rest of their lives. Earlier this month, Malakai Black made his shocking debut for AEW and appeared far sooner than fans thought thanks to a clerical error with WWE's non-compete clause. Black was arguably wrestling's hottest free agent when he signed with AEW, and he's been very positive about his time with the company so far, enjoying the creative freedom that he never received on WWE's main roster. Speaking to the Wrestling Perspective podcast, Black discussed his creative process in the All Elite promotion, saying, "One of the things I've been doing is I've been talking to Jake the Snake Roberts, about his promo work and stuff. I just want to get inside his head. I want him to talk, right? 21 years in or not, that's Jake the Snake Roberts. You'd have to be an idiot not to talk to him about that stuff." Jake Roberts is considered one of the greatest talkers of all time, so it shouldn't surprise anyone that Black, who's no stranger to dark and macabre promos himself, is currently consulting with him. As for Black, he'll make his AEW in-ring debut on August 4th when he takes on Cody Rhodes in a match that fans have been waiting to see ever since the former NXT champion made his debut for the company. As a former WWE and Universal champion, Brock Lesnar is one of the biggest names in wrestling history, despite not having wrestled in over a year. During his second run in WWE, Brock faced backlash from fans for his part-time schedule, which would mean months would go by without a world title defense, but there was a time when he was just one of the boys. During his latest Grillin' JR podcast, Jim Ross discussed Lesnar's humble beginnings in the WWE, saying, "Everybody was on the ring crew, everybody. Brock Lesnar was the foreman of the ring crew. He drove the ring truck. Somebody said, well, that might just be role-playing Cowboy Bill and these guys being abused or these guys being disrespected. No, they're learning the business. They learned everything that we do is important. Putting up the ring is important. The referees are important. Doing a little bit of media here and there is important. Meet and greets they did, everything is important." Being the crew's foreman, the team leader, probably wasn't how Lesnar envisioned his WWE career would begin, but it did help him get familiarized with the ring inside and out. From there, Brock went on to become a massive success with one of wrestling's most lucrative contracts, and it started with a future Universal Champion driving a ring truck. More from AEW next, as it was last November that Kenny Omega announced the development of a console video game, working with WWE's former developer Yuke's, and now we have an update on that game. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Omega said that they're currently working on the character models, and from there they'll work on getting every wrestler's individual moves in the game. Omega added that something like this can't be rushed, and hopes for a 2022 release, but can't commit to a solid date just in case there's delays. AEW has proven to be a massive success so far, and already has a legion of loyal fans, and we can only hope the wait is worth it when AEW's console video game eventually hits shelves. And we're ending with some TV news, as The Simpsons is a staple of animation and has seen some of the biggest guest stars of all time. From Sir Paul McCartney to Michael Jackson and even Bret Hart, plenty of famous names have appeared on the show, and now The Rock may be taking a trip to Springfield. That's the hope of Yeardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson, who said during a Comic-Con at Home panel that she could see her character befriending the Brahma Bull. Showwriter Carolyn O'Mine added that there is a story planned with Lisa and The Rock, but they're still waiting to hear from the former WWE champion. The Rock is a very busy man and is expected to be busier later this year with a rumored return to WWE. But if he has the time, you may be able to catch the Great One chowing down on a Krusty Burger or downing a Duff at Moe's in an upcoming season of the show. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.